be talking about is focus. I think it's really, really important that we figure what we're focusing on is helping us and not hindering us. I do find that whatever we are looking at, we tend to get more of it, whether it is the good stuff, whether it's the bad stuff, and I think we can really help to control what we are looking at. Quick little backstory really to what got me to here really, is that I set up Blueleaf, and at the time it was a full service agency really, which I'll explain in a minute, but really we are a digital agency. And what a digital agency does really is design and build websites for people. So some of the websites which we design now, we design for Laura Ashley. All of the transactions go through the sites we've designed and built. We've also designed stuff for Red Bull. Interestingly, they have about 680 websites, so we've still got a few more to go at yet. Other projects that we work on are for Next, where we do a website which is connected to those. But the interesting thing is that all of those came through inbound inquiries into our company. We didn't go out looking for them. I can categorically connect every single one of those to a BNI referral. Hands up who knows of BNI, Business Network International? So there's over half of you. So I attended there for about 10 years, if I'm honest about it, and I had quite a broad message, and I tended to get really not very much. But the sharper I got with my message, the more focused I was with what I was asking and looking for, I eventually got a really good referral, which led me on to some of those great pieces of business. As for when it all started from our back bedroom, effectively, in my house. It was done in 1999 when we started there, and it was all with great intent, really. It was there to help people in what we were doing with all sorts of marketing. We're helping with every bit of thing that we could do. The problem was we got to do too much stuff. You know, we went into business because we were sort of nice people, we could design, we could do marketing and things like that, but we found that we were starting to do everything. And we were really very, very broad. We could never really figure out how we can start to get better clients, how we can streamline what we're doing, how we can be famous or award-winning or whatever it is. We were just very, very typecast into this jack of all trades sort of thing. And it created a lot of frustration for us, being frank about it. I mean, it really is quite painful when you're trying to break out of a situation and not knowing what to do. One of the things that I observed was that I was always chasing the money. And I realised, and through a great mentor, I don't know if anybody heard of Tony Robbins at all, but I've studied and learned from Tony Robbins quite a bit, and one of the things he talked about was primary questions. And I realised that the main question, you know that little voice in your head that you hear all the time? It sort of controls your actions, what you do. And well, this main question in my mind was, you know, where's the money? How can I make more money? And it was just always going on. Which, if you think about it, it doesn't really get any better. I mean, you can never really achieve that goal. You always want a bit more, and it created more pain than it did pleasure, being frank about it. So I recreated what I call my primary question, the main question that I use. And how I reprogrammed, like we reprogram computers all the time with latest updates, I thought, right, let's reprogram the Nettop computer and actually put some new software in there. And so what I put was this question, which is how can I help and support even more the people I engage with? And that was now what I call my primary question, the thing which I lived by. It was on my phone, it was on my sun visor, it was in my bathroom mirror, and I started to see it and live by it. And it really started to help us. We started to improve what we were doing, changed me personally. But it wasn't until I went back to one of my coaches, and I have a lot of coaches, by the way, and everything that I do, I believe in finding someone who is a little bit better or been there, seen it, done it. I believe to involve those in all aspects of your life is crucial. So I spoke with one of my coaches, and they said, well, it's really good that you've now got this primary question, which is helping and supporting more people, but you're quite quiet. I mean, I don't go out there and stand, I'm not a massive social guy, I don't do lots of presentations, so. But what they found was that I wasn't helping as many people as I possibly could do. And so I thought about that, and I added a couple more words into it, and those two words were confidence and lead. And so I changed my primary question into how can I, with even more confidence, help, support, and lead the people I engage with. the strange thing was that as soon as I wrote that as a statement for me, I started to walk differently, I started to present, I started to lead the team differently, I started to perform differently. Because I wrote it, I'm focused on it, and I got more of it. It was just staggering. Blueleaf as a company started to improve. We started to get very, very clear about what we were doing. All of the turnover, the profits, all that sort of stuff started to pick up. We started to get award-winning for what we were doing. It was like we created this map for what we needed in me personally and also within the business as such. What we did do was create then a primary question, its main question for the company. And the question which we have up on the wall, very visual for all the team to see, is what would the best digital agency in the world do right now? Now that's not so cocky or arrogant to say that we are it. It's what I call our compass heading. I think if we've all got a direction and where we're going, then it just helps us to make the right decisions or the wrong decisions. So all my team now know we deliver stuff on time, on good quality, we check it, we do good coffees, we have good venues, we have fun, you know, that's all our perception. We can bring it down to a singular level in what would the best creative director in the world do in the best digital agency. So each person owns their own statement within the vision or within what I call the compass heading within the organisation. But I can also bring that into my own life as well. So I'm very conscious that when I drive home at night or ride home or whatever, as soon as I cross it, I have a line just going into my drive, I then change my question, and I change the question into what would the best dad in the world do right now, and what would the best husband in the world do right now. And I make sure that when I walk through that door, that it's nothing about me, it's not about my day, the weather, the money, the economy, it's all about what the best dad in the world and the best husband would do. And I just act it, I just do it, and it becomes natural. So I'll throw my kid around, you know, and there is a cushion, by the way. Just to be clear. But, you know, hey, you don't have to do it for too long, you know, you can just go in there and just do your stuff and play and enjoy it. But I'm very, very conscious that they always experience me going in as the best I can be. So, what other things did we do? Well, in Blueleaf, we realised that we couldn't do everything for everybody, and we thought we've got to make some changes here. So 3 fundamental things changed for us. What we said was we can't work with startups. We had to be very clear about this. We spent a lot of time working with startups, and we weren't completely geared up for it. We found that we can't work with owner-managers. I'm an owner-manager, but I know that sometimes it's difficult. Owner-managers in our world wants to see some stuff and then possibly pay for it or probably barter for it. It doesn't work for us, really. And the other thing was that we set our budgets much higher. It started at sort of 5K, 10K, 15, and within 12 months we've gone from 5K projects up to 25K starting point on projects. As soon as we got laser sharp focused on that, it really helped the business to go forward again, because every single person in the organisation knew what we were focusing on, what worked for us and what didn't work for us. It did create another problem. In fact, it created a problem that 9 out of 10 inquiries didn't work for us. And so I've now started to reject 9 out of 10 inquiries, which, thinking about my primary question, it didn't meet my needs, right? So I had to go back and think, okay, if I'm rejecting these projects, how can I help these people? So I approached all of the creative agencies in Cheshire, really, and what that stands for is Cheshire's Innovative Marketing Professionals. We added a couple letters to make chimps, but we met, I approached as many as I could. I said, business owners of these creative industries, come and chat with me, meet with me. A lot were reserved, some met, and now we meet twice, every 2 months we meet, we have a meal, we share information, and I'm passing 9 out of 10 of my inquiries to them. No commissions, no give me stuff back, it doesn't work that way. It is quite simply, I want people to get the best in digital, so I want them to go to somebody where it's in their sweet spot. So we're because of this, that's helped to generate more of these, you know, feeding other people basically. What we've also done in the organisation is, again, to help the people with their own sort of goals, really, is to say, okay, what's your goal? If you could think about 500 quid's worth of stuff that you wouldn't buy out of your wages, what would you want? And one guy said, well, I wouldn't mind a bike. So he made his goal that when he helped Blueleaf to hit the goal, this was last year, of 1.25 mil by September the 30th, so it's very, very specific and clear, I will then get a new bike. And he had a picture of that next to his workstation. Somebody else got one of beehive and some bees, some wanted sheep, someone wanted a front door. They all wanted various stuff, but it's about them, right? So they got the visual picture, they got their personal goal, and then when we broke the goal, we then bought it for them and paid the tax. So, but it's just important that they individually knew how they could be accountable into the overall goal. The year before, by the way, we bought iPads for everybody when we broke the £1 million barrier. This year we've ramped it up, we're aiming for 2 million, and we're just working on their goals now personally. Other things that we do, we have a fun environment. We're at work for a long time, so they can wear shorts, they can scoot around, they can wear banana and man outfits if they want to do that. I don't care as long as it's their belief that that's the best, right? Rebounders to energize people and just, you know, keep the energy flowing. We also created something called SHDs. What I found was that people sometimes, generally with kids, might have the odd issue where they can't make it or a boiler breaks. So shit happens, right? So let's create shit happens days. We give shit happens days to all guys that work with us, and they have 3 days that if the shit happens, go and get it sorted, and their buddy will generally sort it for them. So everyone gets in. Also, because I'm listening to each of the person, you know, each people in the team, I want to know what makes them tick and why they do what they do. So Deb's here, she joined as our new business person, and she looked a bit heavy from the title, new business. She was a chatter, she tweeted and blogged and socialised, but new business, it just weighed heavy. So we changed her job title into a cheerleader. So Deb's is officially our cheerleader, it's in a contract, it's job title everywhere. We want people to be who they want to be, you know, so it works for Deb's. Because of all these things, we then got investors in people. We got it to the gold standard, which I was really proud of. And we were ranked last year in the top 10 companies in the UK within Employer of the Year. We didn't win it, but we were up against some massive national companies as well. But to be in the final 10, I was quite proud of. So just to round things off, really, it's about finding your true north in what you're doing. Personally, I think people tend to plan their holidays better than they plan their life. So many people know exactly where they're going, to the hotel, to the resort, the day, the time, even know which flip-flops they're going to take in their suitcase. But ask them where they're going in life, they've generally got no idea. They blame it on the economy, they blame it on their friends, their whatever it is, where they're born even. But I think if you don't shape your own future, if you don't get a clear true north, then please don't blame anybody else. You've got to get your own, and that will create everything that you want. So thank you all very much.